Welcome to Joe's tutorial part 3 on video editing specifically tailored for the Live from Studio B project. Okay, so we are all set with our files, our project is set up, our sequence is made. Now it's time to sync our clips together so that we can start cutting them up and not worry about things getting out of sync later. One note, this is a pretty rough way to do this. It's a really good way to learn. But as equipment gets better, there might be better methods of syncing your video files right in the shoot. But for now, having separate files, linking them to one master audio file, it will do through Premiere, through the editing process. Okay. So the first thing here, we've got all of our clips lined up, but they're not synced yet. And what we're going to use for this is a pretty visual process in order to take a look at these waveforms and get these files close to where they need to be for syncing. And we'll just keep zooming in and get it as close as possible, given the frames that we have to work with. One thing you can do in your view, we don't need the visual clips quite yet. So if you want to make more room for yourself, you might slide up the video tracks, have a little more space for your audio tracks. And I'm going to start zooming this way as well. So in Premiere, you've got a scroll bar, same thing for the verticals, and zoom handles on either side of that scroll bar. And the zoom will always zoom to your playhead. So it's good to keep in mind where you've placed that so you can stay organized. And I'm going to use it quite a bit just to get close to our waveforms synced here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and see what we're dealing with. So this is why the clapper, the slate, is such a handy tool in production. We keep that slate visually within each of the 3 camera shots, but most importantly, we can hear that slate clap, so we can use a marker to make our lives a little easier when we're syncing these files together. And I can identify, if you're not sure yet, just keep guess and check and play these files and make sure you know what's what. I can tell that we have a similar sound here that is this clapper, which is this kind of spike in the waveform. So when I talk about the waveform, I'm talking about the visual graphic that we have to work from here. As I zoom in, you can see the waveform a little bit more clearly. And again, you can always zoom this way if it makes things a little easier for you as well. Okay. Okay, so you can see now what we have to match. We've got 4 files that we want all to be right about at the same spot. So what I'm going to do just from this zoom is nudge things as close as I can. So I'm just using the selection tool, clicking and dragging. This is one of the reasons why we left space on both the left and the right of our clips, because we want to have some flexibility to get these close before we tidy up the actual time code that we're working with. Okay, I've gotten those pretty close from this zoom, and the process that I use here is just to go little by little. Okay, so get those synced as best as you can, and then zoom in again. You can use the playhead here. We're getting quite zoomed in where we are looking at individual frames. You can use your left and right arrow at this point to move through frames if it's helpful to you. But again, we're just using the visual graphics right now. So let's see if I can get a little closer. And you'll notice that due to the frames, the visual frames, we have kind of a limitation here on how close we can get. So there's a couple tricks we can use, which I'll go over. Okay, that looks like pretty much as close as I can get for now, and then I'll zoom in. That's zoomed in all the way with my time codes set to video frames. And so let me see if I can get any closer there. Not really. We're pretty much as synced as we can get there. Okay, this trick for fine-tuning is simply to right-click or control-click within your time code up here. And what we're going to do is just show our audio time units. Okay, and those are more fine in terms of in terms of placement, so we can have a little bit more zoom capability. See how we're doing. So I'm going to click show time units. Okay. If you notice when I did that, my scroll bar expanded, and that's because I've got more I can go into now because I'm not reliant simply on video time units. Okay. If I zoom in a little bit more, I'm getting very, very close up here on my waveforms. Now you can still use your click and drag method, see how close you can get them. And if you're not sure or that's a little fussy, if you hold down, if you're in your selection tool, hovering over a clip and hold down the command key, you can use the arrow to nudge it left and right. Okay. And it looks like we're as close as we can get for the most part. Now, they're always a little bit off in every edit I've done because they're 3 totally independent files. So what I like to do is use my tight shot, which tends to be camera 2. That might change based on how they're organized, but whatever my close-up shots are going to be used from, whichever camera perspective, I tend to like to sync my master wave file to that video image. And that's simply just to, if it's going to be a little bit off, I'd rather it be as synced to the close-ups as possible so we can do those nice tight close-ups on the performer's face. Okay, so to do that, I see that I'm in my audio 2, and that's also camera 2 right here. If I select that one. So I can kind of look at those and see how I have more flexibility with my audio wave file because it is not dependent on video clips as well. So I can drag that and get it pretty close. I'll use my playhead to hover over, go even more zoomed in, and see that I'm pretty well lined up with those sounds. Okay, so if I just check this again, if I move those, that goes way out of frame. I can kind of make my choices here, but I tend to let them be as close as we can possibly get to my playhead. So all 4 are as close as possible to be synced up. Okay, so that's as close as we can get at this point. And now what you can do, as you zoom way out, you'll notice that what looks like an enormous amount of mis-syncing is actually not terrible when you zoom back out. And what I also like to do, just to be sure everything looks okay to me, is to then test it out with all 3 of the visuals. Okay, so if I move my playhead back a little bit in the mix, zoom out again, and check on camera 3, which is visible right now. I'll slide this down so we can see the video clips a little better. Okay, so I'll hit play.
And quiet on the set, and action.
Okay, that looks pretty good to me. If I play it back, hide camera 2 and camera 3 and just look at camera 2. If you notice it's small, by the way, and I will talk about that in a moment. And check that one.
And quiet on the set, and action.
That looks pretty good. And hide that one and take a look at camera 1. Just make sure that looks adequate as well. So move back.
And action.